Every EV stock for cars in America is down in Q1 of 2024, and a lot of people are sitting there talking about this company called BYD that originally started in China as a battery manufacturing company and now an automaker, designing cars 3 million last year, where the average EV car in America is around $55,000. They have an EV you can buy for $10,000 that goes 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, and America's sitting there saying, holy shit, what happens if these guys come to America?
They're sleek, silent, and suddenly everywhere. Chinese electric vehicles are taking over streets in Europe, Asia, and beyond. With modern design and high-tech features, they're winning over car buyers fast. But behind the glowing reviews and bargain prices lies a growing concern, one that has nothing to do with how they drive and everything to do with what they might be doing when they're parked. What if these cars are more than just vehicles? What if they're a backdoor into your phone, your data, even your home? This isn't the first time the world has faced a technological shift with hidden strings attached. In the early 2000s, smartphones revolutionized communication, but they also sparked debates over data ownership and surveillance. Now electric vehicles are entering that same conversation. The technology is different, but the questions are eerily familiar. Who has access to your data? How is it being used? And what happens when the hardware is tied to a government that doesn't answer to your country's laws? Meet the BYD Dolphin Surf. In China, it's called the Seagull, a compact angular EV with a personality. It looks harmless, trendy, even fun. But this little car has kicked off a global conversation that goes far beyond horsepower or range. Governments, military leaders, and security experts are all asking the same question. Could a car like this be used to track your movements? Or worse, could it be disabled remotely during a crisis? The Dolphin Surf is already making waves across Europe, with dealerships reporting strong pre-orders and first-time EV buyers taking the plunge. It's compact, quick to charge, and packed with modern features like adaptive cruise control, parking assistance, and integrated navigation. All of that sounds good, until you realize that these very systems are gathering constant streams of data about where you go, how you drive, and what you connect to. In the wrong hands, that data becomes a map of your life. BYD didn't just beat Tesla in sales, it outmaneuvered it in global reach. In 2024, it became the world's largest EV maker. Now it's flooding Europe with affordable, well-built cars and expanding into Africa, South America, and even Australia. And while car buyers are lining up, intelligence agencies are taking notice. Because BYD, like many Chinese firms, operates within a system where the government has sweeping power over companies, including access to data. Today's EVs aren't just vehicles. They're rolling smartphones packed with sensors, microphones, cameras, GPS modules, and remote update systems. Over-the-air software updates, pioneered by Tesla, are now standard in most new EVs, including Chinese ones. That means a single command from a server can alter how your car behaves, or where it goes, or whether it starts at all. Now imagine that system is hosted by a company under pressure from a foreign government. Sir Richard Dearlove, the former head of MI6, didn't mince words. He told British lawmakers that Chinese tech embedded in vehicles could be programmed and controlled remotely, making it theoretically possible to bring an entire city to a halt at the push of a button. While no such incident has occurred, experts point out that the growing complexity and connectivity of vehicles creates real vulnerabilities. What if a future conflict with China triggered a digital lockdown? What if critical systems were disabled by someone halfway across the world? China's government has dismissed these fears as absurd and unfounded, insisting its companies follow local laws wherever they operate. BYD and other Chinese brands deny any intent to spy or misuse data, but that hasn't stopped governments from acting. In the US, tariffs have risen to 100% on Chinese EV imports. In the EU, new duties of up to 35% have been introduced, and in countries like Australia and Canada, policymakers are calling for deeper reviews into Chinese-made tech and public infrastructure. Behind the scenes, trade officials are growing increasingly uneasy. Chinese companies receive subsidies that many in the West consider unfair. The US has responded with aggressive tariffs. The EU has launched anti-subsidy investigations. And yet, consumers keep buying. It's a tug of war between policy and demand. and so far demand is winning. Meanwhile, China accuses the West of using security as an excuse for protectionism, arguing that no evidence of wrongdoing has ever been produced. Here's the conflict. Most people don't buy a car thinking about cyber espionage. They care about cost, reliability, and comfort. The BYD Dolphin Surf delivers all three. But what if that convenience comes with a trade-off you can't see? Would you notice if your location data was quietly uploaded? Or if your phone paired to an unsecured system? These are the questions security experts are raising, not because something has happened, but because it very easily could. This is where the story gets uncomfortable, because the truth is most of us already live with trade-offs. We accept terms and conditions we never read. We use smart speakers, fitness trackers, and apps that track everything from our heart rate to our home address. Chinese EVs are just the next level of convenience. The question is no longer, is it safe, but are we willing to care? This isn't just about electric cars. It's about how deeply foreign technology is embedded into our lives and how little control we might actually have over it. From smartphones to smart TVs, Chinese-built hardware is already everywhere. Electric vehicles are just the next frontier. If regulators don't act fast, or if consumers don't think critically, we could wake up one day to find that we handed over access to our movements, habits, and conversations for the sake of a few $1,000s. And it's not just about what your car might know. It's about what that data could mean when aggregated across millions of vehicles in dozens of countries. Behavioral patterns, commute routes, location clusters. In the hands of a hostile actor, that's intelligence gold. It's no longer about spying on a few people. It's about mapping an entire society's rhythm and understanding how to disrupt it. This is the new battlefield of modern power, not fought with missiles but with code. While security concerns dominate headlines in the West, reactions in other parts of the world are different. In Africa and South America, Chinese EVs are being welcomed with open arms. Governments are signing deals with BYD to electrify public transit fleets. In these regions, the priority isn't surveillance, it's access. For many people, these cars offer their first chance at affordable, clean transportation. And when the choice is between no car or a Chinese EV, the debate over data privacy seems less urgent. In Brazil, BYD recently announced plans to build a massive EV manufacturing hub, one that will produce not just vehicles, but batteries and solar panels too. In Kenya, its electric buses are replacing diesel fleets in major cities. The message is clear. While Western democracies debate risk, much of the global South is embracing what China offers: mobility, jobs, and infrastructure. Trust in these regions often comes second to opportunity, and that's a calculation Beijing understands well. Then there's Mark, a freelance designer in Berlin, who bought a Chinese EV purely for the tech. It updates faster than any car I've owned. The interface is smooth, voice commands work in German and English. It just works, he says. He's aware of the headlines but dismisses the concerns. Look, if they want to know where I'm going, they can already find that through my phone. At least now, I get to enjoy the ride. Not everyone is as relaxed. A teacher in Dublin backed out of buying a BYD after reading about data sharing laws in China. It's not about being paranoid, she says. It's about not giving up control without even realizing it. These stories reflect the divide, not just between countries, but within communities, between those who see risk and those who see reward. The story of the Dolphin Surf is more than a car review. It's a mirror. It reflects what we value and what we're willing to ignore. It's about more than features or firmware. It's about freedom, not just to drive, but to decide what we share, who we trust, and how we protect ourselves in a world where technology is never neutral. Because in the end, the biggest threat might not be the data these cars collect, but how easily we surrender it. Would you get behind the wheel, knowing someone else might have the key? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.